Hello and welcome back to the Spin the Rock podcast. I'm your host, Angel, and with me today are my co-hosts.
Eugene?
And Vaughn.
Are y'all gonna get that LeBron Ken doll?
Hey, bro. I got my Glorious Kings shirt jersey here, bro. That's all I need, bro.
What about you, Vaughn? You gonna get the LeBron Ken doll?
Yeah, I should go out buy 100 of them. Expect like a crazy return in them 10 years from now, but it'll probably be like worth pennies. This is crazy
Yeah.
though. LeBron, a Kenbassador, as it's called. That is wild.
LeBron is making money moves, bro. He's got the Hennessy, he's got the Ken doll. Gonna be able to rock the entire LeBron fit in a couple years.
It's surprising to see, though, that he was the first Ken rather than some other, even like fictional characters. You know what I mean? Like a Superman or Batman. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool to see someone in basketball, more or less, as a Ken than anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, that was bad. I mean, what messes with me the most is that the fact that it's gonna be mostly grown men who buy these LeBron Ken dolls, and that's so funny. I don't know why that just cracks me up, bro.
I wonder if retirement LeBron is going to take a Shaq path, and you're just going to see him everywhere, be it commercials, endorsements, just his face popping up everywhere.
I mean, he already
mean,
has that podcast.
I know,
right.
easily.
And he's been in movies already. So it's like he's already on that path. It's just we're just gonna see it more and more and see, what avenues we haven't even seen Shaq in, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
true. Because I don't think he's gonna go the Tom Brady route and stay within basketball. I think he's gonna just be everywhere, bro. We're gonna get the LeBron McDonald's meal. We're gonna get he's gonna be in every movie now. It's gonna be But I think it would be cool if he was stayed within the media, kind of like Tom Brady.
I was gonna say, do you think he'll become an analyst and or announcer or like play-by-play commentator, whatever, or because there have been rumors that he will help start, the potential expansion in Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
So do you think he's gonna be in the media, or do you think he's gonna be part of an ownership? Or I guess he could do both because Brady also is minority owner of the Raiders now. So
I think he's gonna go mostly setting up Vegas. I think he is gonna be like a media personality, but I don't think he's gonna be like on the traditional route. I think it's gonna be podcasts like the Pat McAfee show. Like it's gonna be stuff like that where it's just like he's in media but not traditional media.
Yeah, the only way I see him being on like a ESPN show or something is if he's like a special guest for like a special reason. I don't
Yeah.
see him being a regular on those type of shows. Podcast definitely suits him more.
Yeah. All right, into the news. Let's talk about first Chris Paul is the first ever 20-year plus player to never miss a game, bro. That's insane. How y'all feel about this?
This one kind of snuck up on me. Like I would have figured Chris Paul would have been out for something because he's got this track record of being injury prone. But 82 games in his 20th year, I would never have pictured Chris Paul being the one to break this record.
I'm not gonna lie though, me personally, I'm not surprised. Only because sure he has been injury prone throughout his career, but I'm sure him and LeBron are best buddies. I'm sure he spends maybe not the same amount as LeBron, but probably a similar amount as LeBron on his body. So, and being 20 plus years in the league, we see it in LeBron all the time. But Chris Paul being the point god, literally, he knows how to take care of his body. He's learned the tricks of the trade or whatever they say with his time in the league. So I'm not surprised, but I also kind of am because it's like, we're also seeing him break records we didn't think were even records.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Eugene. I'm not surprised, but I'm not surprised it was him, but I'm surprised that it happened because like also no one was really even talking about how he hasn't missed a game all season. So I feel like that would be noticeable, but I guess it wasn't. But I'm also not surprised it was him because, like Eugene said, he's like been in the game so long. He's a point guard. But not only that, but his impact on the Spurs is so much lesser that I'm pretty sure most of the motions he does is this. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure he's just passing more than doing anything else. So he's probably doesn't have as much wear and tear on him because like he's not the guy anymore. Even on
Mhm.
the Suns, he was still like a second option sometimes. So like now he's like probably the last option and just finding people open.
Right. And with Wemby being out, they got to pass the ball even more now, probably, I'd assume.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're probably right about that, to be honest.
All right. Next up, Chauncey Billups, which I'm pretty sure just happened today.
Mm-hmm. Or
Um,
yesterday, I think.
Okay. But he has been extended with the Blazers. Multi-year. I can't see how many years it is. But a multi-year extension with the Trailblazers. How do y'all feel about this? Shocked? Not shocked?
I'm
It's tough.
happy to see that he's staying there. Because, like, although they're a super young team, like, you got to give him time to grow, especially being a first-time coach,
Mhm.
head coach. So it's just also the dynamic is interesting between the top teams in the league and the bottom teams in the league.
Mhm.
We're seeing all these crazy firings among the top teams, and they are deciding to keep Chauncey Billups. So it's kind of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I can't really say if this is good or bad because I just don't follow the Blazers very closely. But I don't envy his job right now because he's got three guards who are starting caliber, between Shaden Sharp, Simons, and Scoot. And he's got three starting caliber centers between DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, and Donovan Clingan. So managing those minutes, I imagine, is a nightmare. But also at the same time, I don't think their record is indicative of the team they really are. They're just unlucky that they're in the West. Like I've been saying, throw them in the East. They might be a play-in team. Um, and this is coming off of them very recently extending their GM, which I also don't know what to feel about. Because like I don't know what ownership looks at this combination of two and is like, we need these guys to stay within the organization for years to come. But like I said, I'm not following them very closely. It's just hard for me to judge personally. I don't love the idea of it, but I'm not against it either. I just really need to see how it plays out for at least the next two seasons.
I feel like that's kind of where the administration is like, looking at things, like this was his first season, right? Or is this like his second season?
I think it's his second.
Yeah. So it's like hopefully they probably know 2 years is not enough to like gauge someone's success, especially with a super uber young team like that, like they have,
Mhm.
There was a point that I was gonna make and I forgot it.
Oh, also it's not
Gone forever.
his second year. I think it's his fourth because he was a coach in
Oh, really?
2021. Yeah.
Oh, I remember. They also are probably thinking like, we're a small market, we've been a small market, and we're bad. So who else is gonna want to come to Portland to coach and or be a GM? You know, so like
Yeah.
they don't have many options to go along with. So if they were interested in continuing coaching and being a part of the organization, like why not?
Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent. It's a whole new team than the one he took over in 2021. So I see the reason why they might want to extend him to see how this team works out with him in charge. What I'm worried about though is like when they do fire him, will it be like too late? You know what I'm saying? Because like
Maybe.
I get that it's a different team. It's only like they're still young, but we don't know what their ceiling looks like yet.
I know there have been times where Billups has been criticized for not developing his young players the way he should.
Mm,
But at the same time, you look at like since All Star break, Blazers have been like top 10 in defense across the league. So like,
yeah.
I think he just needs a more competitive roster, and then we'll see. Uh, Otherwise, right now, if it continues as it is, I don't know if he is the guy moving forward. But you know, it's he's not in a good position, and I
No.
can't really poke that apart too much.
Yeah,
Well-
bro is low key doomed.
What would too late look like, at least in your eyes?
Too late would be like if it's a year 4 and they've made the play-ins, lost early in the third year, but kept him on for this 4th year. At that point, you're like, okay, we need to like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
Reevaluate, yeah.
yeah, but like, I feel like too late would be like if they still haven't made the playoffs, but they're still making the play-ins. I could feel
Mhm.
like at that point, once they make the play-ins, and they do bad or they lose, you gotta fire him low key. Unless it's, I don't know, but we'll see. Still a young team. A lot of them are improving. Like Scoot did better this year than he did last year, so who knows? Lastly, the biggest piece of news for last: the Nuggets had fired not only their head coach Mike Malone, but also their GM. How do y'all feel about this?
Bro, was it 2-3 games left in the season, and they fired
Yeah,
his ass?
crazy, bro.
Now that's a decision way too late to do. Should have did it if not at the beginning of the season, before or during All Star break. Like this is insane. This really does feel like you're throwing your season in the garbage. But you know, if you have Jokic, you know you could still do some damage. But wow. And the GM thing, you know, I'm not mad about that GM thing. If he's not gonna get a backup center for years, yeah, you gotta go, bro. But right now is pretty crazy time to do it.
And basically doing both simultaneously. It's kind of like who's running the team at this point. You know what I mean? So
No, for
yeah,
real.
it's very questionable, even more questionable than the Grizzlies, especially with them firing both like key positions, uh, especially and being so close to playoffs. So, I mean, we'll see how the Nuggets make their run without Mike Malone. They probably could have went decently far, at least possibly conference finals. You know, how depending on how their bracket looks. But yeah, I don't know. The game that I watched, I think it was the game after they fired him. The Nuggets weren't looking too hot, at least not how they normally look. So yeah, I don't know. Playoffs is going to be really interesting this year in both conferences.
Like if you're that interim coach, like what do? Do you use the game plans of the coach that just got fired, or you try to draw up some new ones in the few days you have leading into playoffs? It's a
I
mess,
feel
man.
like I feel like especially this late in the season, you got to stick with Malone's strategy because they've been with him for what, more than 5 years now.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like you got to stick with Malone's strategy. Maybe find some, if there were any, find some holes that you could fill and be like, yo, instead you do this instead, kind of thing. But I don't know.
Yeah. the Bro, the GM makes so much sense, bro. The GMs like they don't know how to build a team. Like it was basically the game plan was just make sure Jokic is on the floor, and that's shown because we lost almost every player on the year we won. Then like we lost their replacements, we lost them. Like we brought in Caldwell Pope, we let him go the next year, or
Just
or
let him walk like for
we just
nothing.
let him walk. Like it's crazy. So the GMs make so much sense, bro. Get him out of here. The coach, though, I feel like you gotta at least let him go through playoffs. Like at least let him lose in like the first round if you're gonna fire him. Like, but to do it 3 days before the season ends, and then not only that, but just kind of promote the next guy up, and then also like be very vague about your reason. Like they were just like, oh, he's just not what we need, or he's like, or look at where we're at. And it's like, bro, we're fourth in the West right now. Like this man got us a championship 2 years ago. Like I know he does some questionable things, like not playing young players every now and then.
But Thibodeau
Like,
does that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like at least he has a young guy every now and then. Like Christian Braun is his favorite young guy right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yeah, very questionable. And like they could have even pulled a Nick Nurse, bro, or like a Raptors with Nick Nurse. Like they won the chip and then they fired him. Like they could have done that. So I don't know. I don't know what the Nuggets were thinking.
Like Mike Brown got fired this year, and Doug Christie stepped up to that role. And they were saying, "Oh, maybe Mike Brown was the problem." Bro, the Kings are still 9 in the West in the play-ins, and it's not like they're good enough to be in that team. It's just every other team below them is so bad. Like Mavericks, after Luka trade, been terrible. The Suns are some of the ugliest team right now. Like whatever they're doing is unwatchable. And then Blazers, Spurs, Pelicans, Jazz. Like it's not like the Kings beat them out. They just lucked their way into this position. So I don't know what the Nuggets are looking at. Oh, they fired and had a brief spell of improvement before like leveling out. The Grizzlies. I don't know what these owners are doing, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. I don't know what else to add. We can just move on to our main topic. We got the bracket. We're doing a spin the rock bracket episode. We're gonna try to predict how the playoffs will look. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. So a lot of games are in the fourth quarter right now. So the season technically isn't over. But we're gonna start with the East because I'm pretty sure the East is completely locked in.
Yeah, I think so.
So no matter what, even how the games end, it's not changing. So who wants to hit us first with the Bulls versus Heat?
I'm going Heat.
See, I'm the opposite. I would say Bulls here.
Really?
It's not like I'm rooting for the Bulls. This is battle of the mid right here. I only say Bulls only because I think through March, a lot of their players have been going off between Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and I think they can carry that into play-in. Whereas the Heat have been iffy all year long. It's kind of hard to see some of the bright spots. I just don't love the Heat's roster as of today, post Jimmy Butler trade, because look at Andrew Wiggins. Like, yeah, he's got like about 20-ish points a game, but it's not like what they need right now. They don't really have cohesion as a unit. Whereas at least the Bulls have unfortunately been together for way too long. So they know each other well. And I think I put more faith in that than the Heat.
I'm only saying the Heat because, they have at least the majority of that roster has a lot of playoff experience rather than the Bulls. Obviously the Bulls have play-in experience, but not much. I don't know if a lot of that roster has playoff experience. So the lights will be slightly brighter, win or go home. And I just feel like Miami has that edge. Maybe Tyler Hero or Bam could pop off one game, in a win or go home game. And advance. What seeds are those?
9 and 10.
I feel like the Heat could get into the playoffs. I feel like they could. I feel like they could beat the Hawks.
I'm also going the Bulls, but only because even when they had Jimmy, the Heat were like barely better than the Bulls. And now without Jimmy, they're like, I want to say one team is better than the other. Like, I think they're both equally mid. So I honestly just feel like the Bulls, with, like Vaughn said, the momentum they're carrying might be more than enough to beat the Heat. But not only that, but like I feel like they're starting to even click. And so like I feel like the Heat is kind of lost right now. They don't really have a personality after the Jimmy Butler trade. It's basically the Tyler Hero and the Bam show. Like it's just like those are the only players on the court for the Heat. It feels like sometimes.
Mm.
All right, Magic Hawks.
I
This is
think
7 and 8.
personally, the Magic for me have to be a lock to make the playoffs. So I think they beat the Hawks here, only because they've had such a consistent defense for so long. And I know they can't score a bucket, but maybe Paolo goes off for like 40, 50. I know they're missing Suggs for the rest of the season, but at least their guard rotation has been pretty deep for the most part. So I think they can take care of business there. But, Hawks, Trae Young will always give you a chance. He's a double-double machine when it comes to points and assists. So I won't be surprised if Magic somehow find a way to lose.
I think the Magic are locked too. We saw them sit pretty high up earlier in the season, of course, with Jalen Suggs. But with the plethora amount of guards and like pretty decent guards at that, I feel like they're pretty much good to go for at least the first round. They might get bounced out in the first round. Now they will get bounced out in the first round, but it'll be cool to see them. Hopefully, to see the Magic in the playoffs again.
Yeah. I feel like I'm also going Magic. Sorry. I try to make it seem like I wasn't. No, Magic. I just feel like they are straight up a better team than the Hawks, and also the Hawks are generational fumblers in the play-ins. Like either they lose in it or they lose the first game and then barely win the second game. So like I just feel like they're just one of those teams who will always make that playoffs but don't really deserve to be there. And I think they're gonna beat the 9-10 winner, and the Magic is gonna beat them.
I will say though, it would be cool to see a Battle of Florida playing. It would be cool.
That would be pretty fire. I just feel like the Hawks are just they're not good, dude. All right. And then so your winner of 9 and 10 beats your loser of 7 and 8. Who do y'all have? Because I don't know.
The Hawks. I'll say Hawks. This is not like something I super am confident or even care about this matchup, but like I'll go Hawks.
Yeah, same. Because like I said
also
earlier, I'm like, I feel like the Heat could beat the Hawks. The Hawks are just kind of whatever. And even if the Heat can't put the ball in the basket, I think their defense can hold up pretty well. So I think they could. It might be a little low scoring, but I think I still got the Heat.
All right, fire. Um, I have the Hawks beating the Bulls, and it's literally just because like I don't know. Trae Young can get them to the playoffs, and I feel like that's all the Hawks really need to beat the Bulls is for Trae Young to have a good game. Because when Trae Young has a good game, it kind of affects the whole team. Clint Capella has a good game after that and stuff like that. So I just think the Hawks will beat the Bulls. But I'm kind of with Vaughn. I'm not watching this game. Whether it's the Heat, unless the Magic is in it, I'm not watching this game. Like, I don't know. It's such a mediocre, like, they're going to lose in the first round no matter who it is.
East playing will be rough for sure.
Yeah. All right, then. Why don't we start with our 4-5 then, and we'll make our way up to the bigger games. 4-5, Pacers, Bucks. Who do you have winning? And if you want, you could say in how many.
I actually got the Pacers here because Damian Lillard's been out with his blood clots, and they say he could come back in playoffs. But I'm like, should he though? 'Cause
Is that healthy?
yeah, like they're gonna be rushing him back, and like he's be coming off what I assume he's taking blood thinners to break up the clot, and I don't know if anyone should be playing sports while on blood thinners. That's crazy. But Giannis may go for 40, 50 all game long, but like even if Bobby Portis pitches in 20, like who else is scoring to, win games in a whole series? The Pacers have been healthy. We've seen them beat the Bucks before, except this time it's reverse of last year where they were missing Giannis, had everyone else. Now they're missing everyone else and have Giannis. Same outcome though. It might even. I'll just say. I'll throw this out there. Gentleman sweep. I'll say 5-1.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Pacers in 6 because basically for the same reasons Vaughn just mentioned, like the Pacers just have too much manpower to go against the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like they have too many people that can put the ball in the basket, and the Bucks just have Giannis. And then on top of that, with them facing each other, for the past 2 years? It's like year 3.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have plenty of footage to go over, from this season and the past 2 playoff runs. So I'm pretty sure they probably know how to guard Giannis to some extent. They know he's going to get his, but if they can get the ball out of his hands as much as possible, that's how they'll win games.
Yeah. I agree with both you guys. I got Pacers in 6 as well, just because I feel like Giannis is going to win them at least a game. And then the second game might be just the Pacers playing poorly. But I just feel like the Pacers, just like Eugene said, are just going to outpower them. And they're so much better at scoring than the other team. And not only that, but their defense is still decent. So, like, a team that already can't score going against, like, a team with pretty decent defense, it's going to be hard for the Bucks to put up a decent fight. And I feel like there's a reason, like, last time we talked about the Pacers, they were in the play-ins. So they're also coming in hot as hell because they've been on one. So I don't know. I got Pacers in 6. All right. Knicks, Pistons.
See, the Knicks are infamous in the playoffs, but the Pistons haven't been to the playoffs in like over 10 years. But the Pistons look really good. The Knicks or whatever. I actually haven't put much thought into this. I'm going to be bold and say Pistons in 6.
Whoa. I'm surprised you said that because not surprised by necessarily your answer, but I'm surprised you're the one who said it.
I'm just be bold and say Pistons in 6. No playoff experience, but why not? Why not us, bro?
See, I also want to say the Pistons because the Knicks should win this, but they've been kind of a phony 3 seed. Now we know definitely against the top teams in the league, they can't beat them whatsoever, not once. But they have an okay record against the lower teams, at least on the playoff bracket. I'll give it Knicks in 7. But the Pistons are gonna have a good fight. Cade Cunningham, finally in the playoffs, he's going to go crazy.
A 7-game series against the Pistons is gonna be such a bad look for the Knicks, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'd rather just get eliminated at that point. Like,
Yeah.
I think this might be Coach Thibs' last season. Finally, I think it's over for him. It has to be.
Yeah, I also got Knicks in 7. I think they're a fraud. I always thought they were a fraud. Haven't been a single good team. They kind of like struggle. Like they're just inconsistent. There's times where they look really good, but like no matter what, when they're up against an actual good team, like bro, they're nowhere to be seen. So I feel like the Pistons are gonna take them to 7, and the Knicks are gonna barely get out of there, but it's gonna be scary in the second round for them.
if the Pistons can win 1 in Madison Square Garden, I think the Knicks will lose. That's my board prediction. I'm putting that as a board prediction. If the Pistons win 1 game at MSG, the Pistons will win the series.
Next up, we'll do Celtics versus the winner of 7 and 8.
Bro, we need this right here, right now. Cavs, Celtics are not losing in the first round.
Yeah, we'll just skip over that.
Like those are the 2 of the best teams in the league right now, bro.
Bro, not only that, but those are 2 of the worst teams in the playoffs too. Like,
but now we did see the Cavs crumble in the playoffs a couple years ago. Do you think that's possible again at any point during their run?
I think we'll just have to save that when we get there.
You're right. I forgot we're doing a whole bracket, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say about Cavs Celtics. Let's move on then to Celtics. Would it be Celtics, Pistons, Knicks?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I think it would be Celtics versus winner of Knicks Pistons.
All right.
So, if it's the Knicks going on, it's not scary for the Celtics whatsoever. Maybe the Pistons, if they are coming off the momentum of beating the Knicks in the first round, I think they could take 1 or 2 games. But I still say Celtics move on.
Yeah, I think it's Celtics either way, but it'll be if they go against the Knicks, I'm calling a sweep, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe 4-1. Maybe 4-1. The Knicks might get 1 at home. But if they go against the Pistons, Celtics Pistons, I really don't want to say that's a sweep too, but that might be 4-1 for a different reason. You know what I mean? Like the Pistons have never, like this Pistons roster has not been in the playoffs. So with that being their deepest run, and Celtics just being the Celtics, like it's just going to be hard to overcome. But Celtics probably either way.
Yeah, I'm the same. Celtics either way. I got Celtics, Knicks, 4-0, bro. I'm calling it now. Sweep. I'm calling it now, bro. The Knicks, they're just, bro. they're not gonna. No one who's gonna stop the Celtics on that team, bro. Like every person on that court can score.
Mhm.
And the Knicks already have pretty mediocre defense. So like, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Pistons Celtics. I think it's a gentleman's sweep, just because I feel like the Celtics. They sometimes like we've seen it with the Hawks, where they'll let these bad teams get a game off of them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that too. Like if the Pistons actually win against the Knicks, like they might be on some like Hawks type of run, you know. So they might even slip to like 6 games. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean honestly, because it wouldn't be the first time we've seen the Celtics like just kind of struggle against a bad team.
Mhm.
So I mean, last year it was complete bloodbath, but in past years we've seen it. All right, then we have Cavs and whoever you have for Pacers Bucks.
Now the Pacers would be in an interesting spot here because they could prove their Western or Eastern Conference run last playoffs wasn't a fluke. Now I'm still gonna say the Cavs take this, but this is where the Cavs could fall apart. Um, like last couple seasons with the Donovan Mitchell Cavs, they never lose where I think they're gonna lose. And I hope it's not this year as well because I would like to see it Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals again. Um, but the Pacers are pretty scary when healthy. I know they're young, but they've been in this position before. I know they don't have much more to go on other than last season, but they can put something together. I'm gonna say Cavs in 6 games, but 5 of those 6 games are very close games.
I'm gonna say the same thing. Cavs in 6. I think the series is gonna come down to Tyrese and Donovan specifically, like limiting Tyrese's production. I guess both of their production. You know what I mean? Because Donovan is basically the MVP of their team. Evan Mobley can score. Jared Allen, he's not a scorer, but he can score. Darius Garland, not his primary role on the team, but he can score. So I think, and then in terms of Tyrese, I think it's really just limiting his passing, which is kind of hard to do because, like, that's one of the main things in basketball. And, so I think it'll come down to just limiting for each team, Donovan and Tyrese's production, and whoever defends them better will probably win said games. But I got Cavs in 6.
I also have Cavs in 6, but surprisingly, we all gave a different reason for why. Because I think it will be a lot harder than it looks. I think it's gonna be like the Pacers only win at home. Every game will be close, but both Pacers win will be at home. And I think it'll be like, oh, in hindsight, it wasn't really that hard of a series for the Cavs.
Mm.
I think it will look a lot worse than it actually is for them. But I honestly think the Pacers will get 2 wins at home, and that's about it. Just because Tyrese Halliburton has had streaky moments this series. That there was a period of time where he was like having a high turnover ratio. So I think the Cavs will just have to put a little bit of pressure onto the Pacers, and I think that'll be enough. But I think a lot of people are going to overreact when they see that it's a 6-game series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I hope this series does come true. I hope these two teams do meet because we'll get like a really interesting battle of the bigs between Mobley and Allen versus Turner and Siakam. And it'll be interesting to see how Nemhard, Mathurin, and Neesmith guard the combo of Garland and Mitchell, or if that can even be done. I am looking forward to the series.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, we all have Cavs Celtics. Who do you have?
I'm gonna rock with my team. I'm gonna say Celtics.
Shocker.
Shocker. Championship team roster kept alive. My one worry is Jaylen Brown's health, because it was earlier this week he was reported having shots in his knee for pain management. I don't know if that's going to nag him all playoff long. And his 3-point shot hasn't been the same all year long. He's shot less threes. He's only shooting like 31% from 3-point range. But the positive side is both him and Jason Tatum are averaging a higher amount of assists. So maybe he doesn't need to shoot crazy amount of threes if he's passing it to a Peyton Pritchard, a Derek White, a Porzingis, or even Tatum. They got their system. They'll probably lose some ugly games because their system says shoot as many threes as possible. But I think they take it in the end.
I got Cavs in 7. I'm not going to say the Celtics because I'm like, why would I do that? But I mean, realistically, like I think the series will be close like the whole time. One team might take one away, another team might take one away. So hopefully we get a good series and we can finally see Donovan Mitchell in the finals.
That would be cool. I got Celtics in 6.
6.
I honestly, they are way better than they were last year. Like,
really?
Dude, every time the Cavs and the Celtics went against each other, like they were neck and neck, and like the close games that like really mattered, the Celtics won, bro. And so I feel like they're just way better. Like, don't get me wrong, the Cavs put on an historic run, but like, bro, they're dangerous this year. I honestly think it'll be blow, 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 and then the Celtics will pull away. I think it'll be 4 games in a row, no one wins consistently. But then those last 2 games, the Celtics win both.
So basically like 1-1, 1-1, and
yeah,
2-2, and then just Celtics went out.
Yeah. Because the
Celtics last year was crazy for the Celtics. I feel like, I mean, maybe it was the media wasn't talking about it because like I guess we've already seen it,
Yeah.
But because the Celtics haven't been talked about much this season, only because they were so dominant. But last season, like everyone was talking about it. So I'm like, maybe I'm just out of tune with the Celtics because I could give a fuck. But
the weird thing about this team versus last year is I think last year Celtics, no one could beat them on their home turf.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they have a not losing, but their away record is much better than their home record for some reason. They lose on their home floor, but they beat other teams on their floor. So maybe the Cavs 1 seed, their home court advantage will be used against them. I don't know. I don't know if we'll carry the playoffs.
We'll see, bro. I don't know. It's gonna be an exciting series for sure, though.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best series we've had in the East in a long time.
A really long time, low key.
I think the last one that really blew me away was that Celtics Heat series. All right, moving on to the West. I don't know if these are locked in.
No, because the Warriors are still playing right now.
All I know is that the playoff seeds are pretty much locked. Because I'm pretty sure the Nuggets clinched the 4th just now.
Yeah, so top 4 are locked in, right?
Yeah. Oh, and just right now, Nuggets are. I mean, the Wolves also just clinched.
Oh shit! So they beat. Who'd they beat?
They beat the Mavs.
Okay, so they need the Warriors to lose to get the 5 seed.
Yeah, pretty much. Damn. Okay, so the bracket is currently changing as we speak. Because this bracket has the Grizzlies and the Plains, but they
Hey,
just clinched the playoffs.
we can wait the 4 minutes if you want, bro.
I mean,
They got 4 minutes left in the game.
we could wait the 4 minutes.
Because
Oh,
the Warriors are down 3 right now.
Let's talk March Madness. We did not talk March Madness.
All right, bet.
Okay, real quick, intermission. March Madness talk while we wait for these games to end. How do y'all feel about the winner? I'm low-key pissed because I was watching that game and I wanted Houston to win it so badly, and they fumbled the fucking bag, bro. They fumbled it so hard.
I was high-key pissed, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Every single hooper, bro, does not matter, would have shot that shot, bro. They would have not done what Brody did.
Yeah.
He could have been a legend. He could have been historic. He could have been in the March Madness montages, bro.
Yeah.
And instead he wanted to double dribble. Oh my, bro, I was actually so mad for the city of Houston, bro. Like, to go out like that was bad. But my overall thoughts for the tournament, I was kind of disappointed. Like, we didn't see like, I don't want to say any upsets because some of them happened, but like, we hardly saw any. You know what I mean? It was basically like top seed beats the lower seed the whole bracket. Like,
the final four was all 1 seeds.
Yeah, literally. Like, anyone's grandma who made a bracket probably, was 90% correct. You know what I mean? So, like, I guess it was cool to see that it went the way it was supposed to go, but that's not why we watch March Madness. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I based my whole bracket on upsets, bro. And I got eaten alive towards the end. Like, I was holding out hope, like maybe this team goes a little deeper. No, 1 seed wins.
Yeah.
So I got dusted in the end.
Yeah, bro. My bracket was doomed before that anyway, so it was cool. It was cool, dude. I actually enjoyed my time because this is the first time I actually sat down and watched as many games as I possibly could. So, like, I had a blast, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
it's fun. Like, I'm trying to put you all on, but like, it's fun.
It's fun as hell. I like low-key loved it. It was, bro. CSU also was a whole part of my bracket just because of bias, and we went out on a buzzer beater, bro. Like, that also hurt. So my bracket was doomed from that game, which was like the second round.
Right.
But
I like, everyone was talking about like Florida's gonna win it. Florida's gonna win it. And I was just like, me personally, I hadn't heard like a lick of nothing about Florida. But I liked Houston and Duke particularly. Houston has always been, or not always been good, but like within the past few years, they've been good. So I was like, it's either Cooper Flag getting his natty. Also, I have a question about y'all, or a question about him to ask y'all after this. But I thought it was a Cooper Flag natty or a Houston natty. I wasn't anticipating Florida. Now, the game was pretty neck and neck the whole time, literally the entire time. The championship game. So it was a good game until the last minute. Then it was just sloppy ass basketball. And same with that the Final Four Duke game that they lost. Mm-hmm. Everything was good until the last 8 minutes of Duke's, turning or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, like, I hadn't heard nothing about Florida, so I was like, all right, cool. Duke, Houston, and bro, I wanted to cry, bro. I wanted to cry. I wanted to like punch something. Like, bro, I felt like a fan of UH, bro, because I was like, you just can't go out like that.
Yeah.
But do we think Cooper Flag is staying or is he
Bro,
declaring?
I was saying from the beginning that these rumors started that if he didn't win, he's staying.
I'm the same. I really think he's staying. He ain't going out like that, bro.
Bro,
Yeah, I
he loves that school, bro. He he loves that shit. So like I honestly feel like ever since the rumors about him might staying started, I was like, oh, if he doesn't win, he's staying.
Mhm.
What I
There's
told
no
you.
way he wants that to be his last game in a Duke uniform. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's coming back.
I'm like, it at least for me, it only makes sense. Like, it would have been cool if we could see another Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
that's so few and far between, bro. Like, I wouldn't even worry about that. But like, it would have been cool to see him win a natty in his first year. You know what I mean? But nah, bro. Because I was talking to my other friends too, and I was like, bro, he's not gonna go out like that. He's staying at Duke. They're like, nah, bro. He's gonna declare, which that would be the smart thing to do, to declare. But we'll see.
We'll see. We shall see. Last thing, because the games are about to end, so I'll throw this in last before we talk. NIL deals. How do y'all feel about? Because a lot of the controversy as soon as that Final Four was set, everyone was saying NIL ruined college basketball. How do y'all feel about that? Or are you kind of indifferent?
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much to me personally. Um, yeah, I've never even put any thought to it.
100%. Because that is NIL is the reason why we saw the way March Madness go. That's literally the reason why March Madness went the way it went. Why we saw all the top seeds advance, because these kids now want money, obviously, while playing the sport that they grew up playing in college, get more exposure and try and get to whatever league that they're trying to get into. You know what I mean? So NIL has changed the game tremendously.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I can see like it definitely you can't deny, bro. That's the reason why the Final Four is what it is because of the NIL. Like there's no denying that at all. But like I just feel like I'm kind of on the team of Katie's guys that you're like making billions off of.
Right.
So at the same time, I just think it's so new that like schools aren't learning yet, and eventually, I think something will happen to where it goes semi back to normal. But at the same time, we're gonna start seeing stuff like this a lot more for a little bit.
Right. Because like it might not have changed for like the top players necessarily, because obviously the top players are going to go to the best schools. But you know, I don't know, someone at the lower end of the top 100 probably would have went to one school pre-NIL, but now that they can get NIL money, they went, I don't know, to another school. You know what I mean? So like it's interesting to see that it's happened so fast instead of it being like a gradual change, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes I see what you're saying. All right.
Bro, they're about to go into overtime.
It looks like it, bro. Quarter four of 111 to 111.
We just yapped for 4 minutes, bro.
Ben Simmons, 11 minutes, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
Why is he playing, bro? In a game that matters, why is he in there?
Why does he have 10 minutes of game time?
What have I told y'all about Tyronn Lue, bro? What have I told y'all about Tyronn Lue? He is not a good coach.
Bro, that's so funny. All right. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Did you see that Steph and Podziemski are the highest scoring duo through this month?
Really?
Really?
Never would have. I didn't know Podziemski was scoring like that. First of all,
I didn't even know he was shooting like that.
right?
Putting that many attempts up like that?
I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, it's going into overtime. Okay. We'll just do this. Because no matter what, Sacramento and Dallas is locked in.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
wait. Y'all aren't locked in yet. If the Clippers win, they get 4 seed.
No, if the Clippers win, they get fifth.
Really? Did y'all play y'all last game yet?
Mm-hmm. We beat the Rockets.
But that would make them 50 and 32. The
I
Clippers.
think it's like our home and away record that makes us better than them. I'm not too sure because we're clinched fourth.
I thought it was. Wait, it's not the head-to-head matchup. It's the tiebreaker.
Oh, it might be. I don't know. I just know that on the NBA app and ESPN it says that they just clinched it.
Okay.
So we can start talking about Sacramento Dallas.
Sacramento, Dallas. That's probably like, you know.
The second worst game.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like an East playing game, bro. Like, nobody cares about that.
This is one of the worst matchups in the bracket right now, bro.
Which sucks because, like, with the Kings, you know, recent success, past success,
Mhm.
you know, weren't they like top 3 in the West either last season or 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
Once upon a time ago. But yeah, it's just unfortunate to see that their success didn't really last long. Now, it was kind of expected after De'Aaron Fox left, but you know what I mean? And then firing Mike Brown, like the cookie started to crumble faster than, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
and then the Mavericks and Nico Harrison, everybody know that story. So
Yeah, I don't love the look of this game because it's two teams that traded their best player. So it's like,
Yeah.
what is the draw here, really? I guess I'll go Kings. They have Sabonis, I guess. I don't know. Is AD's healthy now, right? He's back playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he's
I
not AD. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because I was about to say they don't have the system, I think, fully ready for him to be the best he can be. Whereas Sabonis, you know, he runs that offense. And they still got, you know, Levine and DeMar. They're not bums. I think they win this playing game and they lose to whoever's the loser of the next playing game, you know. I don't think we see either of these teams in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, I agree, but I also have the Kings beating the Mavs, and it's only because the Mavs are just like a
Right. The
lot.
Kings are bad, but the Mavs are worse.
Yeah. It's just like the Kings are bad, but at least they have a full roster. The Mavs are like a shell of a team, you know? And plus, Levine and DeRozan have plenty of playing experience, so we same thing, different place, really. Okay, we're gonna skip over 7 and 8 because that's still going on, so we could talk about. Oh no, we can't
No, we
talk
can't. We
about.
can't talk about anything.
No,
Like this is the key game that literally changes the
entire bracket.
yeah.
Well, let's get this out of the way. Do you see anyone beating the Thunder?
Anyone? Wait. We could talk about 1 and 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you see anyone beating the Thunder?
I think it depends on the conference finals.
Mm,
I think they can. I mean, I think they can make it to the finals, but I do think it depends on who they play in the conference finals, because obviously none of them have playoff experience, or maybe like a vet that I don't know of is on that team that has playoff experience. But this will be the first time that they're in the playoffs,
mhm.
and you know, arguably the best team in the league right now, but the playoffs are a different beast. So I think if it came down to it, I think the Lakers could beat them. I think with how the Warriors are looking right now, I think the Warriors could win. I think that's it though.
Mm.
Grizzlies
pretty-
can't. Wolves, Clippers. I think it's just Lakers or Warriors.
I pretty much think any team that's been to the finals, last few years has a chance to knock out the Thunder. So like Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors, I think all have a shot to take them down. Whereas I'm not so confident about the Rockets, the Clippers. No way the Grizzlies are doing it. Timberwolves, I still don't even love the Timberwolves. I know they beat the Nuggets last year, but this year they're not.
That's
so
they're
confident
like
about
a
them.
different team. Yeah.
So I think the safe answer would be me saying Thunder go to the finals. But the West is just so shaky.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same exact page as y'all. I literally think it's only the Lakers, Warriors, and the Nuggets. And like even the Nuggets, I'm kind of iffy on, just because like there's such a weird place right now.
Mhm.
But the Lakers and the Warriors, like right now, the Lakers are super sturdy in just the way they play, and like they're running better than a lot better than we have seen in a long time. And then same with the Warriors. Now they just have one of the two most explosive players in the league, Jimmy Butler and Curry. And Jimmy Butler doesn't actually. That's not the real him until playoffs. That's when we finally see Jimmy Butler. Like the Jimmy
That
Butler
gives
even
you buckets.
yeah, like so we have no idea what the Warriors actually look like until that first game of the playoffs.
Right, because I'm like, even I have like forgotten that Jimmy Butler's on that team. So it's like,
Mhm.
Curry, greatest shooter of all time, Draymond, the enforcer of that team, Jimmy Butler, enforcer part two slash, bucket getter. So it's like they got the keys, they just gotta execute it. And I think that they could.
The crazy thing about the West is I can't guarantee one single team that gets out the first round.
Yeah,
I can't do it. Um, it's just like I could see Nuggets losing first round. I could see Thunder if play-in shakes out horribly for their in their favor, then we could see an upset. It's just even with the Lakers' momentum heading into playoffs, we could see them lose first round. And so many unknowns. Like the Rockets are a young team. This is basically their first playoff since Harden's left. Um, the Clippers are a completely new team from when Paul George was there.
Well, I think the Rockets are a new team completely, right?
Basically,
yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
And the Grizzlies, we haven't seen them in the playoffs in a while either. Their roster's pretty shaken up outside their main three. And they got no head coach.
Yeah. There's just so many unknowns in this bracket right now.
But that's what makes it so fun.
Damn, bro, this game is still going. And it's close. It's still close. It's 119, 117.
I've only seen the clip, but like it was Steph Curry made a three at the end of quarter three with like 2 seconds left. Norman Powell gets it, buzzer beater, put him up by like two. It's like They're hungry in this game.
Well, yeah, because one of them is going to the play-ins.
Yeah.
One of them is going into the play-ins.
I'm like,
bro.
they both got something to lose, bro.
And bro, that's what makes it scary. Because that winner of 9-10 and loser of 7-8, like that means nothing, low key. The 7 and 8 game is what means the most.
Don't we just love the live news on Spin the Rock?
Yeah,
Do we-
live updates.
Do we want to get into any MVP talks or anything like that? Will this happen?
Bro,
Oh,
I'm
true.
gonna die on the hill of Shea. I don't give a single that Jokic averaged a triple-double. I don't care. I don't care, bro. Give it to Shea, bro.
Bro, am I wild in thinking that a triple-double for a center is low-key not that impressive as they're trying to make it seem like?
No. That's very impressive. It's very
Bro,
impressive.
I
Bro.
think Russ's triple-double is more impressive.
But like, I don't think it's more impressive because centers aren't supposed to pass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know.
They're not
Like-
supposed to pass, and they're not supposed to pass as well as he does. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, Russ is a bigger guard, so he's capable of grabbing rebounds, and then as well as scoring and assisting. Jokic,
Bro, Russ's team was so bad, bro.
Okay. You're
Russ is-
forgetting Steven Adams was a box out god, bro. He paved that path for Westbrook to get all those rebounds. Not that Westbrook is a bum when he's getting rebounds. He's one of the best guards to do it, but he did have some help.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, both are impressive. Like, let's be honest.
right, and the fact that
Only-
Russ has done it 4 times, but like,
Yeah,
Multiple teams.
right, but it's like, bro, just come on, bro. Why hasn't the fatigue set in yet?
Yeah. It has for everyone at LeBron, Giannis, don't matter. But not
Everyone.
Jokic.
bro, we
I
know
think
why.
Hey, bro, even Curry, bro, even
Yes.
Curry.
Yeah. I think I would just give SGA the MVP just because of how his defensive stats look compared to Jokic. Like Jokic can just sit in the paint, be big, and I wouldn't even say he's like the greatest at it, but he's enough. Whereas SGA is, part of a very good defensive team that allows him to, get his blocks, his steals, keep his man away from the basket. It's just Shea. This is his year, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not even hating on Jokic if he gets an MVP. But I'm like, if SGA doesn't get it this year, when is he going to get it? Because like
Bro,
they're
he'd
one
be screwed.
seed in the West right now, with such a young team. Like, I don't know what else he could do to, win that MVP.
Yeah,
He's
this
it's
doing
kind
it
of like
all.
Luca, bro. It's kind of like he would be the same position that Luca is, or like just there's always this one person doing slightly better than you.
right.
Yeah.
I was gonna compare it to when Joel Embiid won too. Like when we were comparing Joel Embiid and I think it was Jokic.
It was Jokic.
Yeah, and like if Joel Embiid didn't win that one, when is he gonna win one? Because he
Yeah.
sure isn't winning one this year. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you never know what could happen. But also, like, what about the other awards? Like, who's winning Coach of the Year? We got 3.
It's gotta be the Cavs coach, right?
I
Yeah,
feel like Kenny
I
Atkinson,
would
right?
say, yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
Cavs-
I mean, the Thunder coach, bruh.
Yeah.
And they could really realistically even give it to I forget his name, but the Celtics coach.
Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah.
Because
Just
those
like-
are your 60-win teams right there.
Right. Like they all had spectacular seasons.
No, for real. I mean, I feel like they're gonna give it to the Cavs because they don't like doing back to back that much when it comes to Coach of the Year.
Who won it last year?
Last year was I don't know who was last year actually. I thought it was I know the year before that was Mike Brown for some reason. Oh, it was Ime, I'm pretty sure.
Last
Yeah.
year?
Oh no.
They,
No, last year was Thunder. It was Thunder, then it was Mike Brown.
oh, I mean,
Mike
bro,
Dagnall.
he really could go back to back. They don't really do back to back Coach of the Years, but they could. It depends how they weigh that winning streak they went on, the Cavs.
Yeah, I think the Cavs are gonna get it, honestly.
Yeah, because like you go from like basically mostly the same roster to the 1 seed, dominating all year long as the 1 seed. I think they just love that idea, at least temperature of the media, versus like Thunder again pulling off 1 seed in the West. Even though 67 wins is crazy.
I was like, bro, an 80% win percentage? Like,
Yeah, they're insane. They're insane for sure. And no harder conference too. Like
yeah.
but rookie of the year, it's gotta be Stephon Castle. I can literally not think of another rookie.
Well, Risache, I think, has been taking some
Oh,
rookie of the
yeah.
months lately, but I feel like that's more recency bias. I feel like Stephon Castle's been doing it all year long longer. I would still give it to Stephon Castle.
I got Dalton Connect. Gotta rep my boy, bro. Nah, I've been so out of tune with the rookies, so I have no idea. So I'll agree with you.
He said McCain went down. I don't care anymore.
But do you think he will be eligible for next year Rookie of the Year?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because it was
Like
pretty
Ben
I mean,
Simmons?
not super deep, but like it was a lot deeper than we've seen usually.
It was pre All-Star break,
Yeah.
right?
But like it was also like I think it was after the in-season tournament too.
Oh, okay. So we were like, that's pretty.
It was pretty deep into the season.
So it was not November, like December, January.
I'm pretty sure it was December, January. I could be wrong. But
It's so unfortunate for him, though.
I
It's so
know, bro.
unfortunate.
I mean, and the Sixers were a playing team too, bro. We could be looking
the longest.
yeah, we could be looking at a completely different East standings if he didn't go down.
Yeah. It'd probably be the Heat or the Bulls out at least.
Yeah, probably, bro. Probably the Heat. No,
I would assume.
I don't know. Depoy, I have no clue who's gonna win Depoy.
Bro, people are saying Draymond, bro.
Okay. Draymond hasn't been doing this all year
He
long.
said okay.
It's been after All-Star break. He's been great after All-Star break. But I don't know enough for Depoy this year. Like I would say Evan Mobley, only because he's been their anchor on defense the whole time. Now he does have the benefit of having Jarrett Allen by his side, but it's so tough to score around the rim because of those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for a guy so tall, he's kind of like in a Bam Adebayo situation where he can guard, a point guard or a shooting guard if he has to switch.
Mm-hmm. And he's long enough to, block shots at a distance, So
Yeah.
he can recover easily. Evan Mobley, I like Evan Mobley. And he's been, I don't know, Depoy candidate per se for the past few years, but definitely on the rise defensively.
Yeah. I've also seen some complaints that big man is almost a lot for the award every year. Like the only one recently was Marcus Smart to get it. Mm. There was talk of whether there should be like a big man defensive award and like a perimeter player defensive award.
I think it would help.
I would like to see that for sure. Because I think OG Anunoby was the one who brought it up, that the things he do doesn't always show up on the stats, be it like diving for a loose ball or going around screens properly or deflections. I think
Mhm.
some group of stats you can't really record. Um, but yeah, I would definitely like to see something like that because that's always been my complaint. Is I'm sick of seeing big men always win it. Especially considering the different skill set you have to be to excel as a perimeter defender. But yeah,
Right.
otherwise we're
Like,
never gonna see like Dyson Daniels win a depoy, which I think
yeah.
could be in the cards in the future.
I was gonna ask too, like, could he win it this year? Like he's averaging what, like 2+ steals?
I personally would put him in the at least top 3. But I feel like there's not enough people talking about it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Because doesn't he also lead the league in like deflections?
Yes, and I think it's by a lot too.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. But kind of going back to your point, like, what if you're voting for that winner? Are you judging 2 blocks better than 2 steals or 2 steals better than 2 blocks? Like, how are you? Because it's 2 completely different
Yeah.
stats and like ways to get that. And it's like,
I feel like it depends on the position. Like I feel like a block as a guard is more impressive than a block as a center, and vice versa. A steal on a guard doesn't look as good as a steal from a center.
mm,
Like Wemby, like one of Wemby's best traits is that he can get steals, bro, and that's like really impressive for a center. So I feel like it just depends on your position.
okay, so for example, these are just like numbers that I'm just coming up with. Let's say we got like a center who averages 2 blocks and half a steal. And then we got a guard that averages 1 block and 2 steals. Who are you
I would
voting for
say
people?
I would say that guard is more impressive defensively. But also you don't take into account like opponent field goal percentage, like how much does that drop when they're guarded by that player. But
Mm,
if we're just doing, steals and blocks, I would definitely say that guard would have my vote.
Yeah, because that means you're like consistently playing defense to get that block.
right.
Like, I still think even if like the center had a full steal, like one steal, I still think like it's a lot harder to get that one block as a guard than it is to get that one steal as a center
Mm.
because you're playing like you have to play really consistent defense.
And bigs are just naturally taller, so it's easier for them to block shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check in on that game.
Bro, there's 3 seconds left, bro.
The Clippers won.
Okay, bet.
So that means that it will be Grizzlies Warriors 7-8. Who do y'all have winning that game?
Give me the Warriors.
Bro, same. Same. Give me the Warriors.
The Grizzlies just don't seem focused as of late. Uh, Obviously, that's going to happen if you lose your head coach. There's so much question marks around them. Whereas Warriors, they can win one playing game to get in the playoffs. If Steph is off for some reason, you've got Jimmy Butler carry the load. So yeah, I'm pretty confident about that one.
Likewise, like the Grizzlies they're probably done with this year. They're probably, capped out, whatever for this year. So it'll be Warriors, and we'll see Warriors Thunder, which will hopefully be a good series. But yeah, I think the Grizzlies are just zoned out at this point.
Yeah. And then Grizzlies versus your winner of 9 and 10. Who do y'all have there?
I'll give it to the Grizzlies only because those two teams are actually bad.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I want it to be a close game, but I have a feeling that the Grizzlies might pull away pretty early on. All right. And so why don't we do you see the Thunder losing to the Grizzlies?
No.
Okay.
Not
We
at
won't
all.
even talk about it. Thunder will beat
That's
the
probably
Grizzlies.
4-0.
Thunder beat the Grizzlies in the first round. How about Rockets Warriors?
Give me the
How do
Warriors on
y'all
this
see
one.
that going?
I think it'll be tough actually, because the Rockets are so not only just deep but have a very good defense. Bro, Steph has faced Ime Udoka before. Steph has beat him in the finals before. He can beat him in a playoff series again.
In the round 1 playoff.
Round one, yeah, with Jimmy Butler by his side.
Yeah, I got Warriors in 5. I want to say 6, but like, bro, if they're just gonna like outpower the Rockets, and especially, bro, like I'm assuming we're gonna get the Jimmy Butler we always get in the playoffs, and that man's gonna be unstoppable.
I got Warriors in 6 only because I think the Rockets defense can hold up for 2 games, whether that's home or away. And plus, they also got their enforcer catalyst in Dylan Brooks. So he's going to do all of the harassment that you can think of, whether that's to Draymond, Curry, Jimmy, or whoever else on the team. So he may get in someone's head. It might not be one of the main 3, but I think he's going to try and do all the intangibles and try and affect the game somehow that way as well.
All right, the Nuggets Clippers.
I'm not a believer in Ty Lue, bro. Nuggets in 4.
Nuggets in 4.
Nuggets in
That's
4 with no
crazy.
coach or GM, bro. I'm not a believer in Ty Lue, bro. Give me Doug Christie or whoever y'all got, bro.
I'll say Nuggets. I think worst case it goes to 7. I don't think it goes to 7. I'll say 6 to be comfortable. I know this talk about losing the head coach. Jokic low-key can be the coach on the floor.
Mhm.
He knows his roster well. He knows the plays. Yeah, he can get you the W in this series for sure.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
also
gonna
got
be
Nuggets.
carrying. Regardless,
Yeah.
he's gonna be carrying.
Well,
Yeah.
we might see playoff Jamal Murray back again. I know he's had an iffy year in the regular season, but that kind of always happens.
He's also iffy injury, bro. He's been on and off the court a lot too. I got Nuggets in 6 as well. If it wasn't for Ty Lue being the coach, I would even say Clippers could win it. But like honestly, bro, that Clippers team is not an organized team at all. And I feel like when you're not organized already against like the Nuggets, bro, the Nuggets can we're pretty good at just outright beating teams and like just finding holes in your defense. And I feel like the Clippers are going to be too disorganized to win the series. I know Zubac has been doing really good this year, but like if they had like even a decent backup center, but like Zubac versus Jokic, that's Jokic is going to win
The
every
Nuggets
single time.
2.0, bro.
Yeah. So I got Nuggets in 6. And then lastly, I think it's Lakers,
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves. Yeah. Lakers, Timberwolves.
I never loved Julius Randle in the playoffs, and he's gonna have to find some way to be effective other than driving to the rim when Rudy Gobert's on the floor. But I think that just makes Jackson Hayes' job easier. I don't even love Jackson Hayes like that, but like he knows where you're going, and now you gotta hopefully limit Luka and LeBron. I don't think that happens. I think Lakers win in 5.
Yeah, same. Lakers in 5.
Julius Randle. The paw has a handle. The Wolves will be in shambles. Lakers in 5.
Yeah, bro. Like this would have been iffy already if it wasn't for that Luka trade, bro. But even with that Luka trade, like, bro, there's no one like the Grizzlies, not the Grizzlies, the Timberwolves. Like, Ant is gonna have one good game
And it
to
still
get
might
them,
be in a loss.
and it might be, yeah, bro. Like, I feel like, and like, I don't know. I just feel like the Lakers right now are looking so deadly.
I will say I didn't expect the effect of Luka being on the Lakers. I didn't expect that to be so good so quick. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he has ball IQ and he could probably play with any team in the league and he'll find his role. But it's just insane to see in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that and like, bro, the second he got on the Lakers, he lost like 10 pounds, bro. Like, this is probably the most fit we've seen Luca in forever, bro.
Even if he wasn't, if he was the fattest he's ever been, if he was smoking in between timeouts, I would still say Lakers in 5.
Yeah, the Grizzlies are a mess, dude. Or the Wolves. I keep saying the Grizzlies. The Wolves are a mess. All right, next. Let's do that would be Warriors Lakers then. Because we all agreed completely throughout the West Side. So Warriors Lakers.
Oh, see, my criticism of the Warriors has been I don't love their center core, but if you need a rebound, you got Kevon Looney. If you want 3-point shooting, Quentin Post is a stretch 5. Draymond has been succeeding as the small ball 5. So I think with Jimmy Butler teaming up Steph Curry, Pods has been going crazy as of late. I'm gonna give it to the Warriors here, but it might be in 7.
Stephen Curry, Indian Curry, your mom's in a hurry. Lakers in 5.
Oh my
All I
god.
gotta say, bro. We winning this year, bro. That's all I gotta say, bro. My delusional Laker fan is coming out.
I have Lakers in 7. I think this is the first time in a long time that we've seen the Lakers have firepower against a team with also firepower. That's usually been their downside, is that they can't keep up with the scoring oftentimes. We've seen this like players just start to go cold. Whereas the Lakers, bro, they have a lot of firepower this year. And I feel like against the Warriors' firepower, it might just be enough, bro. It might just be enough to get that win. I still think it's going to be a very, very, very close season, and that's why I said a series, and that's why I said Lakers in 7, because like at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors win, but like I think the Lakers are just going to edge them out.
I think we do have a slightly deeper bench than the Warriors do. I feel like the Warriors haven't really, at least since their dynasty era, haven't really had a bench since then, with like Harrison Barnes and Livingston and all them.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year, if we can get some bench production, because we have had a problem with that this season, our bench not doing enough while our starters are off the court. But if we can get some bench production, either defensively or offensively, we should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm the
see.
total opposite. I'm like looking at the Lakers bench, like what Gabe Vincent. Maybe if this
Streaky.
was yeah, even Hachimura, don't love his production in the playoffs. Whereas, you got a Kaminga, you got a Pajemski, you got Looney or Post. At least I think there's more different lineups the Warriors can pump out versus the Lakers. I feel like this Lakers is not tooled yet around the LeBron and Luka era. This is just what they had after, like, the leftovers after that trade. I think Lakers next year are scary, though. If Rob Pelinka does what he's supposed to do in this offseason, I think might be the scariest team in the West.
And an actual system. Like,
Yeah.
we only got Luka halfway through the season. So
I will give it, though. I do think JJ Redick, in his short time, probably a better coach this year than Steve Kerr.
in his first season, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, Thunder Nuggets.
Thunder and 6.
Yeah, I'll have to give it to Thunder. I'll probably say Thunder and 6 as well. They're probably not stopping Jokic, but they are stopping the other guys.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say Thunder in 6. I want to say Thunder in 7 as a Nuggets fan. I want to say we'll put up a fight, but like, I feel like the Thunder can just let Jokic get tired and just defend just guard the hell out of Jamal Murray.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't want to make it sound easier than it actually is, but the only way you can guard the Nuggets is to guard everyone else except Jokic. Jokic is obviously gonna get his. He averaging this past week like a 50-point triple double.
I don't know.
He might
It's
have.
something like that. He was averaging more than 40. I know for a fact, but he's obviously gonna get his. So if you limit everyone else and continue, your offensive output as a team being the Thunder, they'll be more than fine. But obviously that's a lot easier said than done. But yeah, I got Thunder in 6. I don't know who's guarding Jokic though.
I don't think anyone's guarding Jokic, but like we've seen the Timberwolves do it before. Like that's literally how they beat them. Is they just guard the hell out of everyone else and then throw like every center at Jokic. I just hope that like every center on your team can do something. And I feel like the Thunder have a good enough center core to where like, yeah, Jokic is gonna be huffing and puffing in quarter 3 of game 5.
But you think Chet is holding him, bro?
I never said that. I say he's stopping him, but I'm saying he's gonna tire him out. Like
I don't know, bro. I think that's a baby for Jokic, bro.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about baby because like it worked last year, bro. It was Cat, Rudy, and Naz Reid.
Okay,
And,
think about the names you just said though, and we're talking about Chet Holmgren, bro.
I think
3, and he's still a twig, bro. Sure, he's put on a little bit of muscle, but like, come on, bro. That's at least 20 a night on Chet's head alone.
They might have Chet play off ball and have Isaiah Hartenstein in the paint. At least that's what I would do. I'm not a coach.
Right.
At least,
yeah, I was kind
of bigger body against Jokic. He's not bullying Chet all game long.
I wasn't saying like Chet could do it himself. I think it had to be Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet together.
No. I know what you were saying, but like, I don't know, bruh.
You don't think that would be enough?
No.
Because like Jokic is still gonna get his 20 points. That's what I'm like. He's gonna score.
But
I think they're just gonna tire the fuck out him. Like they're just gonna tire him out.
I just don't think the Thunder's center core is good enough to even tire Jokic out.
I would be like, let Jokic get 60, but like Jamal Murray, you can double team throw him off his game. Michael Porter Jr. is exclusively shooting threes, and Christian Brown, like, yeah, maybe he scores like a 15 or 20, but like you can live with that.
Yeah, he also is kind of streaky.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I mean, we all said Thunder, so
yeah.
So that means it'll be either Thunder Lakers or Thunder Warriors. Or yeah.
This has got to be the Thunder's year.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking. I think
I
Thunder
want
Laker.
like
It's
me
game
being a
7.
Laker fan, I want it to be the Thunder. Like, you know what I mean? Just to see them one back in the finals, two have a chance at winning a chip in Oklahoma City, and three, the whole young core. Like, bro, imagine that storyline, bro, of them winning the finals. Like, that would be insane, but also well deserved.
I'll say the Thunder in 5, only because if they've gotten this far, I don't think they slip up now.
Damn,
Mm.
5 though
I'll
in
say
the
5.
conference finals.
Against the Warriors. I said Warriors. Yeah, I'll just say 5. I think
Yeah,
we finally see them getting over the hump into the finals. Now, I did say like they're at risk of getting knocked out. I'm just gonna put my confidence in SGA and the team that they can finish what they started to do.
I got Thunder in 6 against the Lakers.
I got Thunder in 6, regardless whether it is Warriors or Lakers. I got Thunder in 6.
Well, if it's Warriors, I agree with Vaughn. I think Thunder in 5 is low key possible.
Bro. Curry is not going out like that.
Bro, Curry has gone out like that. So
No,
like
bro.
we've seen Curry
No,
go out like
bro.
that.
No, bro. Not again. No, bro. There's no way. With Jimmy Butler, there's no way. I was gonna say with Draymond, but like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
I don't
5?
know.
I've been playing it way too safe with the in 6. No, I'm saying 5 this time.
I feel like
Yes.
the Thunder have it all, and the Warrior, like, bro, we like. I think they're good enough to get to the conference finals, but I also think there's still a lot of holes, and like their run, if they do get there, is gonna be an iffy run. Like, don't get me wrong, Steph and Jimmy are gonna go off, but like, they're still like have a lot of holes in their team.
True,
Warriors are
but
another team. I think they'll be scarier next year once they've made some adjustments. This
Yeah,
year, like, yeah, it'll be exciting if they get this far, but I don't think they're going all the way or going as far as they would like to.
it's like first one, Chase Center during the playoffs. Like, bro, you gotta think about Warriors fans, bro. Warriors fans are some of the craziest, most obnoxious fans in the league. So home games, insane. They're gonna be crazy. Curry's probably gonna pop off 1 or 2 games. Jimmy hopefully will pop off 1 game. I think it could go 6, bro. I think there's no way they get gentlemen swept in the conference finals, bro.
I mean, I could see them going to 6, but I honestly, I am putting my money on 5.
That's crazy.
I mean, they lost to. I mean, they've lost to worse teams quicker.
Yeah, but they were also worse. Like they had Klay Thompson, who's been mid for the past 4 years, seems like, and injury prone. Draymond hasn't really been himself, as of late.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I don't know. They've lost to worse teams, sure, but also they've been worse, I feel like.
Yeah.
And their bench has always been super mid.
I just think the Thunder are so much better than them as a team. Yeah, they got the Chase Center, but like, this is a team that feels unbothered by noise, even more so than last year, which is why I'm just saying 5. Like, yeah, it could go to 6. Like, I'm not gonna be upset if I was wrong, but it could go to 7. Honestly,
I think it could
very
go
well
to.
see that happen.
I just don't think it has a chance to go to 5. That's why I'm surprised y'all said that.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Well, lastly, we have Thunder Cavs, and then no, yeah, Eugene said Thunder Cavs, and me and Vaughn have said Thunder Celtics. Who do you have winning it all?
I'll say Celtics in 7 because they've only met twice and they were both very competitive games. Small sample size, yeah, but these are two of the best teams in the league. It's going to 7. But I do think Celtics take it. They've been here before. If they're a fully healthy team, they're beating out the Thunder. And I think the Thunder will use this similarly like the Celtics did, losing in the finals, and carry that experience moving forward.
I also have Celtics in 7. Bro, I said it last year that they were gonna go after they beat the Mavs. I was like, they're gonna go back to back because like they're just so unstoppable, bro. The Thunder, I think it's gonna be like we've seen it before. They made it this far just to lose in the final stop, and I just feel like the Celtics team is just like, bro, if they can beat the Cavs, I feel like they can beat the Thunder. And I wholeheartedly believe that they will beat the Cavs. So
it's like the Thunder could stop one or two core guys, like maybe Jaylen Brown scores 5 points in a game, and Derek White only scores 7. But then all of a sudden, Al Horford goes off for 6-3. Peyton Pritchard comes off the bench and kills them. Like they're just such a well-oiled machine. Hard to bet against them.
but
Yeah, I
Eugene, you
think
said Cavs.
regardless. Yeah, I think regardless, it'll come down to not heavily, but I think it'll come down to how deep their benches are, not necessarily if they play more guys, but if they're just producing more. And that goes for any of these 3 teams in the finals, the Cavs, Thunder, or Warriors, Cavs, Thunder, or Celtics. But Thunder, Cavs, it'll go to 7. I have biases towards each team, so it's kind of hard. I think though, I'm gonna go Donovan Mitchell gets his first ring.
Wow.
Only because I don't even think they're the bigger team, low key. Because Shea's taller than both Garland and Donovan. Dort might be as tall as Donovan. Who's their small forward? Jalen Williams? Jalen Williams with what's his name? Isaac Okoro? Is he starting for them?
I think he does. Because they have DeAndre Hunter off the bench, maybe?
I think something like that. So yeah, I don't even know if the Cavs are the bigger team. I don't know. I feel like with all of the regular season momentum and in my scenario, with them beating the Cavs, which has been hard for them to do this season, they could carry that momentum into the finals and get their first chip since Braun. Which is, I feel like, is also kind of a momentum driver too. Like they haven't seen the finals without LeBron. So it's like, why not staple our place in history? You could say the same thing about the Thunder too, though. The Thunder haven't been to the finals since Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, So, right? James Harden was on that team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so wild for me to think Tristan Thompson could win another ring with the Cavs.
Who would have thought?
I do think the Cavs are maybe a little more top heavy, not quite as deep. Like you can go off the bench, you got DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome, and then it gets kind of iffy after that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Thunder have Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Isaiah Hartenstein, depending on the day.
Yeah.
But that's the part that scares me is that some of the Cavs starters are probably going to play over 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, I feel like if Thunder Cavs, I would have Thunder in 7. Just because like they also have so much more versatility with their lineup. Like when you guys were talking about the power forward, like Cat sometimes play power forward, like Jalen, like they have another Jalen Williams who plays power forward. Like they have way more like creativity with their lineup at their control than like the Cavs, and I feel like that can get them to win against a team like the Cavs because they're the deeper you go, the worse they get. Whereas like you can go pretty deep into the Thunder, and they can still be pretty solid.
Mhm.
Right. You're
Whereas,
always
like-
guaranteed to face Garland, Mitchell, and then Allen and Mobley. Maybe they swap the small forward, but like those are the guys you're always going to plan around. The game plan will always be set in stone.
All right, well that's our bracket. We all kind of agree-ish.
Yeah, more or
I-
less.
Yeah, like there was some parts where we disagreed, but we kind of, I mean, on the West side of things, we almost all 100% agreed.
Mhm.
It's the only time we argued was the games.
Yeah.
We still had the same winner. So if you're listening on Spotify or any podcast platform, make sure you give us that good old 5 stars, leave a review. We're also on YouTube for that good old video format, so make sure you like and subscribe there. Let us know your brackets. Let us know who you got winning the whole thing. We're also on all social media platforms. That's been The Rock, so make sure you check us out, follow us over there so you can keep up with clips and episode updates. Thank you for listening. Next week, we are getting very close to 100 episodes, so you gotta stay tuned for that.